Hello, 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 and welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. For the first time since COVID, it is happening online. We haven't done this in like 5 years. So, this is quite interesting, quite exciting. I'm here with the man himself, Mr. Barry Mitchell. Barry is the lead trainer at Uncovering
I
Greatness.
wish it was 5 years. It's only 2.5 years. I wish
Wasn't
COVID was
COVID in
5 years
2020?
ago. Then
The COVID, no, man, was
2020, 21, and started in 2020, and then it went all the way through 21.
oh, it ended in 21, eh? It actually felt like it was longer.
Yeah, so we only got respite in really only got respite in 22. So yes, Sully, on a doing our podcast for the first time in a while
Yes. Online.
on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that.
Who would have
One of
thunk
the main reasons because I'm not paying $100 to miss my to-dos.
No, but I said we should put an
Anyway,
asterisk. But hey, here, this is what it is. How you doing? Where are you, firstly? Tell us where you
yeah, good, good. Where am I? I am in the southwest of Namibia, um, about 100 kilometers from the desert, from Sossusvlei, 150 kilometers, at an amazing lodge called Barkan Lodge. I'm out here with the owner and or the founder of Paratus,
Mhm.
the telco company in Namibia, and currently a telco company extending throughout Southern Africa. Yeah, so I'm out here with Nicole, and Nicole and I are doing some work with Barney Haramsa. And then, yeah, Friday and Saturday, I have a 2-day sales explosion in Namibia, and then back to Joburg on Sunday. So, yeah, I am sitting on the deck with you can see an amazing view behind me.
Amazing view.
Yeah,
Mad
done a
view.
couple of runs, a couple of walks, went for a hike up the hills this morning. Did a mountain bike ride on the gravel and sand roads yesterday. I definitely missed the tarmac. It was da- it was it was great. It was tough. I was damn hot. But anyway, yeah, good. So I'm in Namibia again. So yeah.
Nice. So, I mean, today
So what are
we're gonna we're gonna talk about. I think that it's probably it's become mine, and I know that it's yours. Our favorite program here at Uncovering Greatness, the Ultimate Greatness Experience. 5 days. 5 days.
Yeah, we just finished a really good one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was our biggest one we've done yet, hasn't it? Like in terms of people.
Yeah, so generally generally they're between 25 and 30 people. I like to keep it around about 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, this last one had 30 people from 5 different countries in Southern Africa. Business owners, senior managers, executives. I was really, really blessed to have, we have some amazing people in this continent, Bill.
We do.
Really have some amazing people in this continent.
And I mean, we really get to see it shine truly in those rooms. Because I mean, I feel like I feel like that is a representation of what our continent isn't versus what they show Africa to be. And I think that UGE is just, it's that. You see amazing, incredible people who truly do want to make a difference on the continent. And I think that's one of the reasons I've really started to enjoy it is because you see people push through some things and it's always awesome to watch.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough program, and 5 days of probably doing the hardest thing I think we can do in business, and that's build a team.
Yeah.
And I mean it's an amazing program that was set up, and I learned to teach it from Blair Singer. I went on it 19 years ago in Phoenix, Arizona. Blair's program is called UPDP, the Ultimate Personal Development Program. We subsequently named our 5-day program UGE, which is the Ultimate Greatness Experience, obviously linked to uncovering greatness. And yeah, I've been teaching that program now 9 years, and had had some amazing people come through it. A lot of our key clients send their management and leadership teams on that program. So yeah, I think Sully, the key component, and people get that out of there. We talk about hey, start a business, employ some people, and you'll become rich.
Yep.
Well, I I I mean, in simple terms, that's bullshit. Because why? Because when you put people together, people bring all their baggage and bring all their emotions and bring everything with them and bring all their fears and anxieties and conditioned behaviors from the past. And we just expect people to get into a team, link arms, sing Kumbaya, and do some nice team building, and we're all going to get on well and build a highly successful business. That works. And I think, it's a very in that intensive 5 days, people learn people learn very quickly around how to work with people and how to get people on the same side and get people driving for the same things. Um, so yeah, building teams. My belief, hardest thing you can do in business and in life is putting together a group of people, promising them some money and getting a promise from them that they're going to do some work and deliver on promises. That's not that hard to do, but pulling together a group of people and moving them in the same direction to create results and behave in a similar fashion to become high performing, effective, effective group of people is a very different task. So yeah, amazing. We had an amazing time. 5 days of massive change and mindset shifts and yeah. So until we do the next one next year.
And I mean, you make a point there that I think is actually so key is that, yeah, you can start a business and employ a bunch of people, right? So Barry, you do sales, I do marketing, Michaela does whatever she does, Nicole does whatever she does, and we go along. That's just a group of people. Like you're saying, it's a group of people who just work together. They're not really pulling towards the same thing, but building a team that pushes together is a completely different ballgame, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at we take the principles that we teach Sully and we put them into our business, and you look at, I mean, that event was run essentially by 4 people, 30 people for 5 days. We start at 7 in the morning and finish at 10:30 at night. And there's 4 of us that run that whole event, and on all feedback from our clients, it runs like clockwork. They get massive value. And yeah, many companies don't do that with 10 people.
Hmm.
But but why? Because over time we've created a very clear context within our team. We have a very clear set of rules. We have very clear expected behaviors, and all of us just get on and do what's needed for us to do. And when we don't, each one of us is prepared to call the other one on their bullshit.
Hmm.
And we understand that the game for that 5 days, just like business, is way more important than the team, and it's way more important than the individual. And when you can get that type of culture into your business and in your team, you dramatically grow your capacity to be able to perform.
Hmm.
So yeah, and so it is. It's. I mean, how many teams have you been on? Business teams, sports teams, friggin' family teams, chump, where if people actually just agreed on their agreements, worked together to for the greater good of everybody else, everyone would get on. But
Yep.
then you get individuals that want to do their own thing and want to control this and want to control that, and ultimately it becomes a shit show.
Yep.
So it's being able to hold that space, and as a leader, the bigger the space you can hold, the more people you can move in the right direction.
Mm. And it's so crazy because like you speak about that, and I was like one of the key lessons I took out of it was the actual importance of building a context, right? A context is not something that you just go, okay, cool guys, this is our context, and we run along and we do what we do. It takes time and it's something that you have to build, right? And then with coupled with context, you have things like code of honor. And I think I loved one of the questions that was asked in the room was sort of how do you enforce the code of honor? And I was like, that is, I don't think many people just think things like code of honor, value, all of those things are just, they just happen, but it has to be enforced.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I see with many companies is that very often values become a marketing exercise,
Yeah.
and they're things that are designed by marketing. People get together in a nice little workshop, wordsmith nice ideas, put them on a wall, sounds really good, paint them up, do nice little posters, and then everyone goes back to doing exactly the same old shit.
Mm.
And so you don't actually live your values. Values are there to be lived. They're a set of they're a set of words that show how you believe that you should live. And how do you show that you should how you believe you should live? By how you act. And so you know you when you have a clear set of values, then you have a clear code of honor. Most businesses don't have a code of honor. They have a code of conduct, which is a set of operational rules on how you operate, but
Yeah.
they don't have a code of honor. They don't have a set of rules that governs how you behave. So, when you look at great teams, the All Blacks, the Springboks, Man United under Alex Ferguson, they had a code of honor. They had a set of rules, and and that's what creates winning, highly effective teams because you end up attracting the people that want to play on your team. They
Yeah.
want to not just play the game because they're good at what they do, but play as in behave in the way that you want them to behave. And for me on teams, the rule of if you're not clear on your behaviors and you're not clear on your values and you're not clear of the context that you have, people will come in and they will make up their own rules and you'll create chaos. So when you bring people in, the very first thing that you need to do is get them to buy into how you're going to play the game and then hold them accountable to those behaviors. And very quickly, if they show that they're not going to behave in that way, you got to cut them loose and send them off.
Yeah.
And run from there. Not that they're bad people, but you got to understand that they'll just be the wrong people in your business. And when you hold the wrong people in your team for too long, they become bad people.
Mm.
So, but but when you don't have clarity on what your context is, in our world we call it our cup. When you're not clear on what your context is, well, how do you hold people to something that you're not clear on? And then you have to live it. Then you have to live it yourself.
Yeah.
So, for me, one of my favorite sayings in teams is FIFO. And for those of you that are in the logistics business, it's not first in, first out. It's fit in or fly off.
Yeah.
And I don't say that nastily or condescendingly, but the reality is, how many times do we see in teams people who don't fit in and create all sorts of issues on a team? Whereas, I never, for me, it's like if I don't fit into a place, why do I want to hang out there? Why,
Exactly.
why do I want to try force other people to change how they behave so it can suit me? Why
Mm.
don't I just get up, leave, and go and find another team where I will fit in, where I'll connect with? Because that's the beauty, I think, of being human beings is that we all have different personalities, different backgrounds, different cultures, and goodness me, to find a group of people that think the same and have the similar values, I it you want to create clarity of that. I mean, we want people in our team that connect with us, yes?
Yeah. 100%.
We know when we go on a 5-day program, none of us are gonna sleep. None of
No.
us are gonna whinge and whine.
No.
If Nicole wakes us up or I wake us up at 5 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey guys, we got to redo the room or we have to do this," no one will complain. We get up
Nope.
and go do it. No one will ask me, "Am I going to get overtime? Am I going to do this?" Because that's not how we play the game.
Yeah.
We there to serve.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people that whinges and whines about you had to get up early and you had to do this, you're not going to fit in our team.
No.
It doesn't mean you're wrong. You just don't fit in and you won't be right for our team. So we create that clarity right up front on what's expected and how you're expected to operate. And you're when you're clear on that, and you will get clarity for every member in the team. When you are clear on that, then you can create clarity. Then you live it. then you start attracting the right people.
Yeah. So, what were some of your biggest learnings? Because I know you're always learning. I think that people, and just my opinion, my take, I feel like a lot of trainers, speakers, people in the personal development game aren't. I don't feel like they're learning. My take, just things I've seen. I don't think that they're learning when they're teaching. I don't think that they are taking in what's happening. And maybe it is because it's on PowerPoint or whatever, whatever. They're just not learning. So, like, what was some of your learnings that you took from the 5 day?
I think my biggest thing is silly is that when you are teaching, you need to be doing what you teach. Um, and and it's a big proponent of who we are. And I saw it this 5 day program versus the last 5 day program. In last year's 5 day program, I wasn't nearly as fit as I am now.
Mm.
And the congruency, in the 5 day program, as you know, I mean, we do it, we focus on health and wellness as part of a being a good leader. Being a good leader, you need to be fit, a healthy body, healthy mind. So we exercise every day, and I definitely saw the difference is that when if when I am really fit and I'm running that program, my congruency to who I am and to my discipline is so much higher. And I think you can take that back into any businesses. If I'm out in my business and I'm selling, I can demand my team sells.
Yeah.
When I'm not selling and I'm making excuses, it's very hard. It's very hard congruently in alignment to be able to demand the same things of your team. And I think congruency is a very important part, is that you can have lots of information, you can teach from an information perspective. You can teach discipline. I mean, discipline is what is one of our values. But if I'm 110 kgs and I'm saying to people, you need to get up, we're going to exercise, and I'm struggling to exercise, well, they're going to look and go, how disciplined is this guy?
Mm.
But when I am teaching from a perspective of I am holding myself disciplined, I'm managing what I eat, I train and exercise every day, I'm not overweight. Well, then I can hold them to that fact. In the 5 day program, we drive real businesses in real time. I can get on the phone with any team at any time, and I can drive the sales with them.
Yeah.
Does that does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it's that constant comeback is who are you being while you're doing what you're doing, and are you in alignment with who you're leading and what you're teaching? And I think, yeah, that's a key component, and I see that missing in so many places in the world today.
Yeah. True.
So many people, wada, wada, wada. They just talk shit
Yeah.
about the stuff they know, but they don't live it. And I think that's the key part of leadership is the ability to be able to live. You don't have to be the best at it, but you got to be on the journey to doing it. And you got to understand that. And you got to be able to come from the perspective that you make mistakes. A lot of people talk that I make mistakes, but when you see them leading in that, you'd think they are perfect.
Mm.
Um, so can you do what you teach? Can you do what you lead? And there's nothing that happens on that program that I wouldn't be able to do or expect myself to do. I mean, in 5 days, there's nothing on that program that I demand of the delegates that I don't do myself.
Yeah.
And I think that you take that back into business. You know, are you the way that you expect your teams to behave, are you behaving in the same way?
And I mean, you did it with busted.
I give it point to call. I didn't really need to do this podcast. I want to do it. I want to do it for our community and everything. But I'm away in Namibia. We normally do these out of our studio where you are in our office.
Yes.
And I was just like, well, you know what? I'm sitting here. I'm doing some work here. Let's just get it done. Why? Because that's part of our code of honor. Do what you promise to do and fulfill on your promises. And we've promised that we'll do a weekly podcast. And it's just as easy to say, oh, well, Barry was in Namibia, we can't do it.
Hmm.
But actually, that's bullshit because we can do it if we
Yeah,
make a plan.
yeah,
And that's really part of our code of honor. So that's why, like, I reached out to you and said, let's do this podcast. Let's jump on Zoom. Let's have a chat and do our weekly podcast, because that's our commitment, not only to ourselves, but that's our commitment to our community and our client base.
yeah. No, that's very true. That's very, very true. No, and I was also gonna say, like, you did everything that was needed to be done and that everybody else did with two very busted knees. And at no point in time were you ever like, hey guys, can we just take a little break because my knees are killing me right now?
Man, you sound like my mother now, man. They weren't really busted. They just had a few scrapes on them.
What do you mean? Those were not scrapes. Those were definitely not
It's
scrapes.
all in context.
If you could see it in
It's all
pictures,
in context, chum.
if you could see it in pictures, they were not scrapes. And that's why your mother
Chum,
commented.
I could walk, I could run,
Yes, you
I
could.
could walk, I could run. It was fine.
Yeah, you pushed it. You did
So,
push it. I'm not gonna lie. And I think that
but,
for me,
but
that was also a great thing for me to see because yes, like you said, like for example, in Namibia, you were nowhere near as fit, but you still did what you needed to do in Namibia. You didn't pull out. You didn't say, "Oh, I'm not going to do it because I'm not as fit." You still pushed through. And I don't think anybody on the program,
yeah,
except the people who knew you, would have known that you weren't as fit as you like to be, for example.
but the difference is, but, and I think that's part of leadership, is you know where you are.
Yeah.
So when you know that you're not where you could be, I believe that it's up to you to get back to where you could be, and that's part of self-discipline, and that's part of leadership. Because as leaders, it's too easy to justify and find the reason why we can't do what we
Mm.
say that we should do. Does that does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
speaking about leadership, there's something that I was thinking about when we were on the 5 day about positions, right? So everybody feels like leadership,
yeah,
the leader, right? So Barry is the leader of Uncovering Greatness. That's just what it is. But in my position in marketing, I am the leader, right? I've got to be able to lead in my position.
yeah.
And I feel like sometimes people miss that completely and utterly. And I think that that was something that came up a lot on the 5 days. Who's the leader? Who's leading? And I was like, but you should just lead in your position, right? Like, how important is that?
Well, I think leadership's not a title.
Yeah.
Leadership is an action. And too many people are waiting to have a title before they lead. They're waiting to get paid to lead. No, I mean, you know, I'm in Namibia doing what I'm doing. I'm leading while I'm here. I'm leading the business from my perspective. You head up marketing. You've got to lead the business, because I'm not going to manage you from here.
Mm.
You got to lead. If you see shit needs to be done, you got to do it. Michaela and Manda are right now. They should be lead. How do they lead? They do their phone calls. They follow up on their phone calls. They follow up on their list. They make their allotted phone calls that they have to do. That's called leadership. Because why? Because leadership is part of discipline. It's part of its responsibility. So in their role, can they lead? And so I think we mistake the difference between management and leadership. I have to manage certain things. I have to manage my time. I have to manage people. But when I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm not there, well, you've got to lead, and I have to trust that you're going to lead. If you can't get a hold of me and there's stuff that needs to be done in the business, well, you need to make a decision. But how do you make that decision? Based on the context and based on the behaviors that are expected. So part of leadership is understanding the context within which you play. You're not going to make a massive financial decision in our business without consulting me or Nicole first.
Yeah.
But if you need to spend a couple of grand to get something done or to get an ad done, you're going to do it because we've equipped you to go, and you understand the parameters and the boundaries within which you can lead.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think it's a big problem in business. Maybe even just in life in general, but in business, people are waiting to be given some form of title before they lead. You just look in the world. There's so many blinking people that have titles and call themselves leaders, and they couldn't lead themselves out of a paper friggin' bag, man.
Somebody said this
You
to me,
know,
and
they
I love
can't lead themselves, but they have this title. I'm a leader. You're not a
can't lead
leader.
a
You're
duck
not
to a pond.
freaking no, correct. You know, so I think, yeah, I think this concept of leadership is often very misunderstood. Is that, in for me, whoever in any one time, for example, whoever is customer facing in a business leads the whole business in that moment of time. How they treat the customer, that's leadership. Do they do what's expected? Do they behave in the way that's expected?
Yeah,
And so, yeah, so, you know, and that's the power of being on a team, is ultimately the key thing of leaders is to build other leaders. That's what we should be doing. My role in my business as the founder of Uncovering Greatness is to build our team into leaders.
yeah, definitely.
So
And I think that you use the
that's the sort of
use a good word there, which was equipping. Is you I feel like that's what you do is like you equip the members of our team to be leaders in whatever area they need to be in, and it's not a. I mean,
yeah.
you check in pretty much every day. If you no matter how long you're away for, you check in. How's things going? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? You then sort of feed back in on what you're doing and where you're at. But it's never like this thing of it's not a thing of, oh no, because I am the leader, that's why I'm doing it. It's just the, are we on track to do the things that we said we're going to do, or that you set out to do, your to-dos? Have you done them? Where you at? How you dealing with it? And I think that for me, that just creates, I feel like it creates a better space for people to become leaders versus you going, did you do this? Did you do that? Like that over micromanaging thing that people speak of. I think you struggle to become a leader when you if you have something like, if you have somebody like that on top of you.
Yeah, well, that's why I say there's a difference between management and leadership. Is I check in every day because one, I want feedback from you, and two, I give you guys feedback from me. If there are any issues, I can help solve them fast. But it's not a I you know we have a system and a process. I'm not, on Monday morning when we meet, I'll find out if you've done your to-dos or you haven't done your to-dos or you're on track or not.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. I'm not going to phone you every day and say, have you done this and have you done that? If there's certain things that I need done to fulfill my obligations to the team and to our clients, then I'll follow up and say, hey, Sully, have you sent me that? Or could you send me this? Or when am I going to get this? That's great because it's there. But but during the week, it's up to you to do your shit. And that's driving responsibility at on a week to week basis. We hold each other accountable. And I think that's the biggest thing is driving accountability. Many people want responsibility, but they're not prepared to be responsible.
Yeah.
So you have to take responsibility. You have to stop making excuses and stop justifying and stop denying and stop blaming and just do the shit that you've agreed to do. When you do the shit that you've agreed to do and everyone else does the shit that they've agreed to do, we all function and move forward,
Mm.
and teams start performing. But it's the lack of responsibility and the lack of accountability, and when one team member's not doing it and they let someone else off because just in case you let me off, then you just have a group of people that blow hot air and, I don't know, smoke up each other's bottoms and never friggin'
Yeah.
never never create any meaningful stuff.
Yeah. Something that I also
So
that I
leadership's
also
key, pal.
eh? What'd you say?
So I think, yeah, it's leadership is key, and it's building that concept of becoming a leader, and not waiting for a title.
Mm.
Lead from wherever you are. Lead. Leaders aren't standing around waiting. They see a problem and they put up their hand and they do what's needed to be done to fix it, in spite of title, payroll, anything like that.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think also for me, another big thing that I learned over the 5 days around, actually was also around leadership, because it was a thing of you have more inside you than you actually know. Not that you realize, than you know, because a lot of people, and I include myself in this, you think that you have a specific amount, right? You're like, I can push myself this hard, and this is how far I can go. But when you push yourself that hard, there's actually another 20, 30, 40, 50, 60% left that you can still push yourself.
Uh,
And that program,
for most people, Sully, hundreds of percent more,
yeah,
hundreds of percent more. Not 20, 30. Most people, I mean, I know when I look at where I am in my life, when I really understand the level that I could play at versus the level that I play at, goodness me, I'm so far off it.
mm,
And for me, it's that realization to push myself to play at a higher level. And when I get to that higher level, I realize, oh shit, there's so much more I can still do and still accomplish and still create.
yeah,
But that's hard because it puts you in an uncomfortable environment. It makes you uncomfortable, and most people don't want to get uncomfortable.
no,
You know, I believe leadership is part of it is leading yourself to embrace discomfort. Lead yourself to become uncomfortable. Lead yourself to move to that next level.
yeah, that's actually spot on there. That's spot because I think yeah, that is a great trait of a leader, right? Like I mean, we always speak about Nelson Mandela, for example. 27 years, he didn't know that he had it in him, but he found it and he kept it going. And that's leadership, right? I'm gonna put myself in an uncomfortable position to lead the people to where I think we should be going and what we should be doing, and building that team of people around him as well who also serve time with him to go, guys, trust me on this one. And you see that, right? And I think that
Yeah,
that's a massive thing with the 5 day.
and to stay on purpose and stay on mission
Yeah.
and operate at a higher level. And yeah, I mean, we see people in the 5 day accomplish stuff that they never thought they would accomplish.
Yeah.
And push themselves both physically, mentally, emotionally at very different levels, and suddenly get a realization, oh wow, there's so much more to life. Because we talk about that, people talk about change your mindset and live a bigger
Mm-hmm.
game, but it's only until you actually do it and start doing it that you realize that shit, I can actually push myself through this discomfort. I can push myself to another level. I can create something bigger.
Yeah.
And when we really push our mindset, our personal capacity grows. And you look back on your life and you go, oh wow, 10 years that used to scare the shit out of me. Now I just do it every day without
Mm.
worrying about it. But that's the ability to increase your personal capacity and create stuff that God has given us an amazing ability to create enormity and abundance, Sully. And we create scarcity. We limit ourselves.
That's very
You
true.
know, we limit ourselves to such a degree, and it's the ability to play and act abundantly to create something bigger and different, something bigger, something different in the world, especially that'll impact other people in a positive way.
Mm.
And I think when you do that and you find a mission and a purpose, whether it's your mission and your purpose or whether it's a mission and a purpose that you can get behind and connect to, I think that allows you, you know, to push through to a bigger game, and that's how it grows. And that's part of leadership. People will follow you if you are prepared to show them how to play a bigger game.
Yeah, and I think that that's for me is like one of the key things about like you doing everything that the delegates do is that it's very hard to look at the trainer, the guy who's standing in the front of the room that teaches for however many hours, doing the same things as you, and then not going, damn, I should probably do this as well. Like I'm gonna push. I'm not gonna let him just because it's you leading from a perspective. Right. But it's never a thing of you have to do it like me. No, just do what you can do. Start somewhere. If you can't do X, if I'm
Yeah,
just using an example, I'm not saying that this happens, but And it was kind of an example that was used somewhere. But if you've never lifted 100 kilos and I see you lifting 100 kilos, I can't come there and go, okay, I'm going to lift 100. I'm probably going to hurt myself. Maybe start at 50. Start
Yeah,
some.
but as a leader, it would be a miss of me to get you to do something stupid like that if you've never lifted. I would go, how much have you lifted before? Have
Yes.
you ever lifted before? No. Well, let's start you at the right place to find where your baseline is,
Yeah.
and then let's help you build up. Now you can take that into any area of life. If you've never sold and you join me in our business today as a salesperson and you're a brand new salesman, well, I can't expect you to go out and make 50 phone calls today if you've never done it. But I can expect you to do five and then 10 and build you up over time to get you to push yourself to be more uncomfortable. Once you know the core baseline, then it's up to you to do the training and the practice to equip yourself as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, so everyone comes and that's why the 5 day is so powerful because everyone comes into that place from different backgrounds, different mindsets, different levels of physicality, emotional, everything, just like in business.
Yeah.
And they have to all get together and play a game together and compete against other teams and compete to either win or lose.
Mm.
And there's certain people that can do certain things that other people can't. And I mean, the one guy in this program, I think he started off nearly friggin' passed out after he did, what did he do? 11 burpees or
Yeah.
21 burpees or something.
No, 11.
Maybe 30 burpees. He did 11 burpees
11
and
burpees.
he finished off 5 days later on 58 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, 38.
No, it
I
was
mean, it
true.
was
Like
three, and
51, I think.
he was 350% or something, or 233%. Anyway, it was a massive percentage difference.
Yeah.
But if I'd have told him when he got there that he was going to do that, he may not have come on the program because he would have been like, I don't do physical fitness.
Yeah.
But he came on the program and then he pushed himself. The change in him 5 days later because of that was just monumental, man.
Vast. Vast.
So,
And it wasn't
so,
just
so,
physical
and
side.
yeah, and that's pushing capacity and
Mm.
that's creating change. And that's leadership, and that's what we need to do in our businesses and in the world and in our countries and in our continent, is just meet people and help them become a little bit bigger than they were yesterday. Help them go to the next level, and then when they see that, they will push to a higher level, and that's how we grow capacity and change,
Mm.
and that's how we create abundance. There we go.
That's standing on the edge right there. It's the best way to do that. Any final thoughts before we wrap up the special edition?
Yes, I'm looking forward to a wonderful lunch that I've just been served that's waiting for me to go and eat.
It's a good time for me to hang up then.
So while I look at this beautiful, there we go. Can you see it in the background?
Yes,
Man, amazing.
man.
Such a wonderful venue.
Nature.
So
Africa, man.
yeah,
Most
so
beautiful
that's it.
continent in the world.
100%, Paul. You
Man,
got places on this continent that.
that are just
So anyway, thank you, bud. Thank you, guys. Nice spending time with you.
thank
Look
you,
forward to your
everybody.
feedbacks, comments. The good
Thank,
ones and the bad ones. We don't mind.
we don't mind at all.
Even
Thank you, everybody.
even even the people that tell us that they got bored, it's okay.
It's,
We don't mind. We're
I
not
think
for
for me, as long as
everybody.
you stay on, I'm good. If you got bored for 30 minutes, that's fine. Maybe you learned one thing, and that is what we're here to do. So, yes, thank you guys. If you haven't seen us before, this has been the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, but more importantly, subscribe and comment. The likes, that's okay, but we want to engage with you. We want to talk to you. We want to get to know who you are, hear your points of view, and hear what you think. I think that that's way more important than a like because I can't engage with a like. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening
Correct.
wherever you are in the world. Thank you for your time, Barry. Much appreciated. And I'll see you next week.
Cheers, chump. Chat to you later. Bye.
Bye.